and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be the first video in a couple of videos that I'm going to do on the rules of the game. So let me just jump right in. Each turn is broken into three phases: the start phase, the action phase, and the end phase. During the start phase, each character rolls a d6 and adds their initiative modifier located on their character sheet to the roll. The character with the highest initiative roll goes first, and sequentially each other character will go in order after that. If two characters have the same initiative roll, the character with the higher initiative bonus goes first. If the character initiative bonus is equal, then each character rolls a single d6, the highest roll goes. If there are multiple, basically just each player rolls a single dice and the person with the highest goes first, and then you sequentially will figure out the order from there. Once everyone has your initiative and you have your your play order, I marked them with dice, you can go to the action phase. During the action phase, the characters can do one of four actions: move, shoot, assault, or hold. During a move, you will measure from the base, the outer edge of your base, outward. So if your movement is 6 inches, you could take from there, from the edge of your base, and move 6 inches. Pretty simple. If you're crossing something, like if he is moving this way, he's moving 6 inches, as long as he doesn't move, as long as whatever he's moving past is under an inch, it doesn't slow down his character. But for if it's an inch or higher, you reduce the movement by 1 inch. So if he moved this way, this is an inch right here in his direct path, so he would lose 1 inch. So moving outward, going here, he loses 1 inch here, so he can move basically 5 inches from here, and then from here he loses another inch, so he would only be able to move like right there. But if you move straight through open terrain, you take a no modifier to your movement. The next action is shooting. Shooting is you can shoot anyone you can see if your weapon is within range. The range of the weapon is determined by the weapon. A character will roll a ranged combat attack, their RCV. They will roll a percentile dice, and if the percentile dice is lower than their RCV after being adjusted for cover or any bonuses that they would get versus who they're shooting at, or say whatever, and then you would hit. The next action is assaulting. Assaulting is a character can move up to their move distance in inches +2 and make a melee combat attack, which is it works exactly the same as ranged attacks, but usually when you're getting into base combat, there won't be negative modifiers for cover, although it can happen sometimes. For the most part, it doesn't happen. So the final action is a hold action, and using a hold action basically allows a player who doesn't move or shoot, they can instead take this action to follow before any player who follows them in initiative order, and their initiative will change. So basically, if you hold, you can let people go before you, but then your initiative will drop, like technically change to make to put you in order for movement and stuff like that. So for basically for the rest of the turn, when you hold for the rest of the turn, it changes your initiative order. So those are the 4 actions you can take during your turn. There is also an involuntary reaction called respawn, and I can show you that in a little bit. Right now I'm actually going to go through an entire turn, which is after the start phase. I've already rolled initiative for these characters, and everybody's set up in order on how they're supposed to go. So I'm going to go through 3 actions for each character as a normal part of the action phase of a turn. And just kind of a little back info, each action you take during the action phase is considered to take place within 5 seconds. So basically, that an action phase in terms of time in game, like for the characters, a action round will take 15 seconds. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So we've got Romeo here. He's a sniper. Snipers have high initiative. He is going to take a shoot action. His range is 35 inches with a sniper rifle, so he's kind of overranged, but he can pretty much hit these 2 guys. But Mitch over here is out of his line of sight, so he cannot make a shot. So he's got his options. Counter Gabe has partial cover, which gives Romeo a -5 modifier to his to hit. But Sergeant Rockwell has no cover, so he's basically he is going to get no cover bonus. So Romeo takes his shot. He got a 27. I don't know why I'm showing you can't see it these days. So he got a 27 to hit. He needed a 65 or less to be able to do so. So your damage for weapons is static. So he will do 8 points of damage every time he hits with a weapon. Every time he hits with the sniper rifle. So that's his go. Next is Biff Rockwell. Biff Rockwell is going to make an assault move. Now, when you take an assault, it's basically just like moving. You start from the outer edge of your character's base. You can move your move distance, which is normal move distance for your character, plus 2 inches. So Biff Rockwell is a ranger with 6 inches of movement, which means he can assault up to 8 inches. And he definitely has 8 inches. So he's going to move up and assault. Now, his weapon loadout is a combat knife and a Type 11 submachine gun. So, in close combat rules, any type of ranged weapon is reduced the rate of fire to 1. So he gets 1 shot with his submachine gun and 1 shot with his combat knife. First shot is a 43. That'll hit Romeo. Romeo has, right now, just for demonstration purposes, they all only have 10 hit points and no armor. So the combat knife, which is what he attacked with first, I should have said that, does 6 damage every time it hits. So Romeo takes 6 damage from his 10, so he has 4 left. Now he's going to get his 1 shot with the submachine gun. He rolls an 89 and misses. And that ends his round. Counter Gabe is going to measure off. He's got a 12-inch range with the submachine gun, and since he's not going into combat and has an upgrade to the machine gun, he gets to shoot 3 times. So he is going to shoot here. I believe there is no cover bonus for Rockwell, so first shot 62. That's a miss because Counter Gabe needs a 50 or less to hit. 64 and a 42. So he hits on the 42 and does 6 points of damage with his submachine gun. And that will kill Sergeant Rockwell. Now, when Sergeant Rockwell dies, he will roll a d6. It's 2. Where's 2? Oh, fuck. And he respawns at 2. Now, I'll explain the respawn here in a minute, but I'm going to go to the next guy. When you're respawning, you take an entire round where you cannot move. You cannot take a regular action. Your action when you're respawning is to respawn, and you cannot be attacked. So, that being said, Mitch, who is a commando, is going to move 8 inches towards Romeo. So that is the end of the first round. So the second round begins. Romeo, as a free action, is going to use his jetpack. No, he's not going to use the jetpack. He is going to take a shot at Counter Gabe. He's taking -5, so he needs a 60 or better to hit. He rolls a 17, so Counter Gabe takes 8 points of damage. So next in order is Rockwell, but he's respawning, as I said before, so he's basically taking his turn to respawn, or taking this round to respawn. Counter Gabe is going to take 3 shots at Romeo, but he's -5 because of the cover. Because basically, if the angle plus these barrels partially blocks his line of sight downward. So he needs 50 or less. He rolls 17 on the first shot, 58 on the second shot, so that's a miss, and then 29. So the third shot, he does 6 more damage and kills Romeo. Romeo will respawn at 5. And now it is Mitch's go. Mitch will move Mitch will move 8 inches this way. No. Yeah, Mitch will move 8 inches this way. And so that is the second round. So now we do the third round. So Romeo's going first, but he's respawning, so he basically loses his turn respawning. Sergeant Rockwell is going to assault into Mitch, since he took his last turn, or his last round respawning. So we'll get 1 shot with the gun and 1 attack with his combat knife. The gun misses. Then the combat knife, he hits a 45. So Mitch will take 6 damage from the combat knife. Counter Gabe cannot shoot anyone because no one is in range. So he will move his, he has a total of 6 inches, but you don't have to move your entire movement, so he will move up, actually no, yeah, he'll move up to here. I hope he, oh, so unbalanced. That's his go. Then Mitch's go. He has 2 assault blades. He needs a 65 or less to hit with his assault blades. But before he throws the assault blades, he is going to use a free action to throw a single grenade. So the grenade needs 45 or less to hit. 46, just missed. Now his combat blade, 38 to hit. And 62 to hit, but the combat blade does 10 damage and kills Sergeant Rockwell. Oh, 5 is taken, so he respawns at 1. And that is the end of your 3rd action. So at the end of the 3rd action, we go to the finish phase. During the finish phase, you check to see if any of the players on the board have met the conditions in which you need to use to win the game. Whether it's, you know, total number of kills, each game type, whether it's deathmatch, team deathmatch, capture the flag, will have basically a requirement to end the game. You check to see if anyone's met that requirement during the finish phase. If no one has, then you go back to the start phase and start a new turn. And then each player will roll a d6 and add their initiative to see which way they go. And I'll model that right now. So Romeo rolls a 3, Sergeant Rockwell rolls a 2, Counter Gabe rolls a 6, and Mitch rolls a 5. So Romeo gets a +5 to his, so he has 8. Rockwell has a 3 to his, so he has 5. Counter Gabe rolled a 6. He has a +3, so he has a 9. And Mitch has a +4 as a commando and rolled a 5. So Counter Gabe and Mitch tie an initiative, but Mitch has a higher initiative, so that means he will go first this round. He will go first the next round. Then, oops. Then Counter Gabe will be second to go. Romeo will be third. And Sergeant Rockwell will be fourth. And you just keep repeating this until you meet the match type requirement for endgame. And that's the turn sequence. The next video will be on character creation and what the characters look like, and I'll be putting that together pretty soon for you. So that's it for today. I just wanted to thank you for watching. Have a good one.